Industry secret that most people don't know of. Story 1. I'm a casino manager. It is definitely possible, more likely than you think, to win money in the short term. For example, if you walk in, bet on red black on roulette, it's reasonably close to 50-50, not quite because of zero. You might do this once, double your money and leave. Congratulations. You will always lose in the long term. Always. Anyone that thinks they have some kind of system is a sucker. A game would not make it into the casino floor if the maths have not been rigorously checked and long-term simulations run to confirm. Story 2. I'm live audio engineer. Sometimes they're faking it. I've had to mic drum sets where the cables went nowhere. I've had to ask a keyboard player if they were having trouble, because they were playing, but nothing was coming out of their channel. Don't even get me started on pitch correction, teleprompters, guide tracks, ghost musicians, backing tracks, etc. I've been doing some audio engineering and recording work, and my friend who is excellent at this stuff recommended that I pretend that I'm making changes to the EQ until they say, "Ah, that's perfect now." It actually works great. I only ever have this problem with singers. My theory is that most singers feel the need to assert themselves and boss people around as much as possible so that they can keep reminding everyone that they are in charge. Story 3. I work in education. We are way behind the ball with student issues and are just flying by the seat of our pants, so to speak. We are in crisis, and most parents simply want to drop their kids off and hope they have a normal experience. None of this is normal. You need to start having conversations with your kids about mental health and social media. If not, woof. Our society is not in good shape. Story 4. Car industry. Never buy a car that is completely new on the market. They always come with a ton of bugs that need fixing, and it takes about 2 years of serial production to get rid of most of them. If you must buy a new car, be sure the model has been in the market for at least 2 years. The reason for why we don't fix the problems before start of selling? Cost. Also, don't buy models that were in development during years of crisis. Example, during the 2008 financial crisis, we let go a huge number of people. To fix the numbers in the books, didn't actually save the company money because they all got a big payout on their way out. So we were understaffed and under immense pressure to reduce cost. The models that came on the market after that time were shit. Like, serious shit quality we have never seen before. Story 5. I'm an unarmed security guard. Every now and then I'll get a comment from someone about how they're glad I'm around in case there's an active shooter or something. Yeah, if that happens, we're not doing anything aside from getting ourselves to safety and calling the cops. We're literally told in training that if we try to intervene directly with an active shooter, we'll be fired. Story 6. I'm a consultant. 94% of successful consulting is making shit up that people want to hear. However, I think it's unethical to not present good data and systematic research before providing recommendations. You can couch honest conclusions in your findings, but ultimately, other than out of legal or financial obligation, they're going to do what they want to do. Used to work at a place where it seemed like every time we used consultants, they just wrote down what we wanted and told our boss to do what we wanted to do. Story 7. I work with vet. Many people running anesthesia at your local veterinary hospital are not qualified to do so and have been taught secondhand instead of going to school. I have been in the field for 8 years and I'm appalled. At one hospital, I was asked to train a dude how to run anesthesia who had literally no veterinary experience. It is such a complicated process, and to do it correctly, you need to know all the individual components of the machine, what they do and why, in addition to knowing all normal vital parameters for your patient and how to adjust fluids/gas/CRIs depending on your procedure. You also need to know anesthetic agents, which combinations go together and which ones do not, and why, etc. I told them I absolutely would not be training someone with a few semesters of an ecology degree how to run anesthesia. It was such an insane ask. It makes me feel so bad for owners who think they are leaving their pets in qualified hands. Most of the time, it's pure luck that they get through the procedure, and many people have no clue what they're actually doing. It's frightening. Story 9. Tech industry. Pretty much every single system is a spaghetti mess of trash code, written by a few good engineers and a whole lot of cowboy programmer idiots. It blows my mind the world works at all, given how fragile most of our systems are. Yet execs continue to insist tech is a cost center to be controlled instead of seeing the reality that the tech underpins every aspect of how we do business now. It's still rare to find tech people in the boardroom because why would technology have strategic importance in organizations? Behind every cyber breach is a board of old, white, male accountants and lawyers who have no idea about tech, but claim to understand risk. Just retire, please, and leave this new world for those of us who will be living in it. Story 10. Dunno if it's a secret, but jewelry in retail outlets is almost always going to have been made in a sweatshop somewhere unpleasant where the people making it were not paid properly. It's also massively marked up, like a $6,000 ring that has a $1,000 diamond and $300 worth of gold. Finally, a lot of the stones are mined in some very unpleasant places, often by people who aren't being paid fair wages, or indeed any wages. Myanmar, where the best rubies come from, whose regime recent nationalized most of the mining companies, as in soldiers walked in and took control and reportedly raped the women and murdered any of the men that tried to stop them. I make artisanal jewelry so I can pick my suppliers, etc., so it's entirely possible to get jewelry that was ethically made with minimal environmental damage or human suffering. But that special deal you got in Walmart High Street retailer, not so much. Story 11. There are tons of inside stuff I could say about the major record labels, but here is one of the most malevolent. Most of them will give an artist an advance to record and live on at the start of their career. Not only do they have to pay it back with heavy interest, but the federal government sees it as income and taxes the shit out of it. But it's on the artist to take care of the taxes. So a $500K advance, for example, the artist could end up owing over $1 million in total to both the label and IRS. If they end up flopping on their music career, talk about being in debt for the rest of your life. Story 12. I work for a pizza outlet. Don't ever order mushrooms as a pizza topping. If you want mushrooms on your pizza, buy them fresh and add them yourself. 9 times out of 10, the mushrooms they're putting on your pizza should have been thrown out yesterday. Mushrooms are in relatively high demand, but have absolutely terrible shelf life that outweighs their demand. They really should get tossed at the end of the day after being in that little tray for however many hours they're in there for, but managers will put them back in storage because there's enough demand to justify not just tossing them like you would with leftover anchovies or something, and it's not against the rules to restore them. Usually corporate will tell you they have 3 days shelf life, even though they arrived at the store already withering and partially slimy. Just don't do it.